There is a saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So now the Daleks come equipped with an emergency Apple brand iPad in hopes of combating the doctor. The first time I saw a Dalek trying to operate an iPad with its sucker arm, I nearly died laughing. That was also nearly the last time I laughed at anything, because the Dalek immediately tried to exterminate me. I'd been with Unit for 3 years, long enough to know better than to stand in the open when facing these pepper pot-shaped killing machines. The blast from its gun stick scorched the wall behind where my head had been moments before, leaving a smoking crater in the concrete. Accessing defensive protocols, the Dalek's mechanical voice grated as I dove behind a fallen chunk of building. Initiating Apple device. From my position, I could hear the distinctive sound of an iPad startup chime, followed by what I can only describe as frustrated Dalek noises. The absurdity of the situation almost made me forget I was in the middle of a war zone. Touch interface not responding to Dalek appendage. Recalibrating. I used the moment to radio back to base. Sierra 7 to command. You're not going to believe this, but the Daleks are trying to use iPads as weapons. Static crackled before Captain Wilson's voice came through. Say again, Sierra 7? The Daleks, they've got iPads, actual Apple iPads. I think they've taken an apple a day keeps the doctor away literally. A long pause followed. Hold position. Do not engage. Repeat. Do not. The wall beside me exploded, showering me with debris. 3 more Daleks had arrived, each equipped with the latest iPad Pro mounted to their midsections. In any other situation, it would have looked like some bizarre tech convention gone wrong. Human detected. Apple Defense System activation required. I scrambled backward as all 3 Daleks began attempting to operate their tablets simultaneously. One kept trying to use its gun stick as a stylus, leaving scratch marks across the screen. Another was rotating in frustrated circles, its sucker arm repeatedly tapping the glass with increasing force. Siri not responding. Exterminate Siri. Taking advantage of their distraction, I slipped into a nearby doorway. The building had once been a shopping center, now reduced to rubble by the invasion. Broken glass crunched under my boots as I moved deeper into the shadows. Behind me, I could hear them arguing. Facial recognition failed. Restart device. Password incorrect. Attempting override. A thought struck me. I pulled out my phone and connected to the building's remaining Wi-Fi network. If these were standard iPads, the AirDrop notification popped up on my screen. 3 devices nearby, Dalek Supreme 1, Dalek Supreme 2, and Dalek Supreme 3. I couldn't believe it. They hadn't even changed the default settings. Alert. Incoming transmission detected. I selected all 3 devices and sent the largest file I had on my phone, a 2-hour video of my nephew's school play. 3 simultaneous pings echoed through the destroyed mall. Download in progress. Cannot initiate weapon systems during file transfer. The sound of familiar engines filled the air, that wonderful, impossible sound that meant hope had arrived. The TARDIS materialized between me and the Daleks, its blue paint practically glowing in the dim light. The doctor stepped out, took one look at the scene, and actually dropped his sonic screwdriver. Well, he said, that's a new one. The Daleks spun to face him, but their systems were still tied up with my nephew's rendition of Old MacDonald Had a Farm. Download at 15%. Cannot cancel. System resources occupied. Storage space insufficient. The doctor caught my eye and grinned. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Though I must say, using their own literal interpretation against them? That's usually my job. He turned to face the Daleks, hands clasped behind his back. You know, for a species that prides itself on superiority, you've made a rather basic mistake. See, that saying about apples? It's not meant to be taken literally. It's about health, about prevention. But you never could understand metaphors, could you? Silence, silence, silence. And more importantly, the doctor continued, you really should have gone with Android. Much more your style, more customizable, better security features. While he kept them distracted, I sent another batch of files. School plays, birthday parties, cat videos, anything large enough to keep their systems bogged down. Error, storage full. System crash imminent. Apple Care support required. The doctor pulled out a new sonic screwdriver. When had he picked it up? And aimed it at the Daleks. Let me help you with that. Forced restart. A high-pitched whine filled the air. All 3 iPads sparked simultaneously, their screens going dark. The Daleks' weapon systems came back online, but the doctor was already moving. Now would be a good time to run. He shouted, grabbing my arm as he passed. We dove into the TARDIS as extermination beams crisscrossed where we'd been standing. The doors slammed shut behind us, and the familiar wheezing of dematerialization began. I leaned against the console, catching my breath. That was either the most brilliant or most ridiculous thing I've ever been part of. Oh, brilliant and ridiculous often go hand in hand, the doctor said, flipping switches on the console. But using their own literal mindedness against them? That's just poetry. Though I suspect Apple's next terms of service update will include something about no use in alien invasions. Do you think they'll try something like this again? The doctor paused, considering. Well, knowing the Daleks, they'll probably try Samsung next. Or maybe they'll take fighting fire with fire literally and show up with flamethrowers. He shuddered. Let's hope they don't discover killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't fancy facing Daleks armed with rocks and dead birds. I laughed, then sobered quickly. The others need to know about this. About their weakness too. Well, to technology they don't understand. Already sent the memo, the doctor said, tapping his temple. Unit will be updating their protocols to include cyber warfare, though I doubt anyone will believe the part about the iPads until they see it themselves. Looking back, I still can't believe it worked. But then again, that's what you get when you try to fight the doctor with consumer electronics. Some days, I wonder if somewhere out there, a Dalek is still trying to figure out how to use Siri.